In the last session, we started our discussion related to OOPS concepts, right? So programming languages are divided into two types. One is procedural oriented programming languages and object oriented programming languages. In the procedure oriented programming languages, everything will be developed as functions. So it is very difficult to manage the functions and data will be exposed outside. We can't achieve security for the data. So those kind of challenges are available in pop languages. That's why OOPS came into market. If you go for OOPS, we will develop everything in the form of classes and objects. So if functionality is increasing, our classes will increase and our objects will increase. Managing the classes and objects is very easy than managing the functions. And the main advantage of the OOPS is security. We can achieve security for our data by using OOPS concepts. And another biggest advantage in the OOPS is code reusability. The code which is developed by one programmer can be reused by another programmer if you go for OOP languages. Java is a pop language or Java is a OOP language. Java is a OOP language. OOPS specific to only Java? No. OOPS are global principles. Any programming language can support for OOPS principles. Any language which is supporting for OOPS principles is called as object-oriented programming language. Java is one of the object-oriented programming language available in the market. Coming to OOPS, there are four principles available. One is called encapsulation, second one is abstraction, third one is polymorphism, fourth one is inheritance. What is the meaning of encapsulation? What is the meaning of encapsulation? Encapsulation is used to combine the variables and methods as a single unit. By using encapsulation, we are achieving data hiding. We can combine our variables and methods as a single entity. How to achieve encapsulation? By developing the classes. Classes are the best example for encapsulation. Every Java class is a encapsulated class. Every Java class is a encapsulated class. And the next one is abstraction. What is the meaning of abstraction? Abstraction means hiding unnecessary data and providing only useful data. Hiding unnecessary data and providing only useful data is called as abstraction. How to achieve that abstraction? By using interfaces and abstract classes, we can achieve abstraction. Next one, polymorphism. What is the meaning of polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation is called as a polymorphism. We are going to deal with objects in the Java. Object will exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situation. Java objects are called as polymorphic objects. Java object will have many behaviors, many forms will be available for Java object. Good. Next one, inheritance. What is inheritance? Extending the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. Parent class properties can be inherited by child class. What are the properties? What are the methods available in the parent class? Child class also can use that. What is the main advantage of going for inheritance? The main advantage of going for inheritance is code reusability. Okay, in order to implement OOPS concepts, first we need to have some knowledge on classes, objects, methods, variables. Then only we can implement OOPS concepts. So let's start with classes. Classes are nothing but about class and object. Can you tell me what is a class in the Java? Class is a plan or model or template. Class is a blueprint of object. Class is used to declare variables and methods. So what is the meaning of a project? Project means collection of classes. Once a class is created, for that class you can create any number of objects. What is the syntax of creating the object? New keyword. First, how to create a class? Class name. This is a class body, class starting point, class ending point. Inside the class, variables will be available and methods also will be available. Class is just imagination. That class will not exist physically. Next, we will go for object. What is the meaning of object? Any real world entity is called as object. Objects exist physically. Objects will be created based on the classes. Without having the class, we cannot create object. Class is mandatory to create the objects. Object creation means what? Object creation means allocating the memory in the JVM. Which keyword we are using to create the object? New keyword is used to create the object. Class variable is equal to new class name. This is used to create the object. User U1 is equal to new user. U1 is one variable which is holding user object. User U2 is equal to new user. U2 is a variable which is holding user object. For one class, I am creating two objects. Can I create multiple objects for a single class? Yes, you can create multiple objects for a single class also. Object means memory allocation. Object means memory allocation. Objects will be created by JVM in the runtime. Objects will be created in heap area. If object is not using, then garbage collector will remove that object from the heap. Right. Garbage collector is responsible for memory cleanup activities in the JVM. So now, who will manage the garbage collector in the Java? JVM. As a programmer, can I manage the garbage collector? No. Programmer will not have any control. Programmer will not have any control. Alright. Now guys, we are going to create a class like this. Class user is available. Class user is available. Inside this class, we are writing main method, public static void main, string arguments, string array arguments will be available. Inside this, I'm going to create the object. User U1 is equal to new user. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? I am allocating the memory. I am allocating the memory for the user. User U1 is equal to new user. We are allocating the memory for the user object. Now, when the object is created, in the JVM, memory will be allocated. When the object is created, memory will be allocated. So this is our JVM heap area. What is the meaning of heap, guys? What is the heap in the JVM? What is the heap in the JVM? Heap is used to store the objects. Now, here I'm creating one object. User U1 is equal to new user. User U1 is equal to new user. Now, U1. That means I'm creating one object for the user. That means here memory will be allocated and this object is pointing by one variable that is called U1 memory. When the object is created, JVM will allocate some address for the object. When the object is created, JVM will allocate some address of the address for the object. Can we get this address? Can we get this address? No, we cannot get this address. Right. Now, sir, what is the proof to say that object is created. You are saying that JVM is creating an object, JVM is allocating a memory, that object is pointing by one variable called U1. U1 is a reference variable which is pointing to our object. For every object, JVM will allocate one unique address. For every object, JVM will allocate one unique address. Based on the address, JVM is going to take this address. JVM will apply one formula. JVM will execute one formula. That formula will give one hash code. JVM will give one hash code. Hash code is a number. For every object one, hash code will be available. Address and hash code both are same, both are not same. Most of the people thinks that object address, object hash code both are same. That is wrong. Address is different, hash code is different. When the object is created, address will be generated by JVM. By taking that address, it will execute one complex formula, hashing. We don't know what formula they are executing also, but that formula will give me one number. That number is called as a hash code. Every object will have unique hash code. Every object will have unique hash code. Sir, how to print a hash code of the object? There is a method called u1 dot hash code. There is a predefined method called hash code method is available. By calling that hash code method, we can see what is the hash code of the object. For every object, hash code will be generated. No two objects will have the same hash code. Every object will have a unique hash code. Sir, how to get the hash code of the object? To get the hash code of the object, there is a predefined method available. What is that method? Hash code is the method. By calling that method, we can get hash code of the object. Can we see what is the hash code of the object? Yes or no? Yes. Let me open my IDE. From today, we are going to develop the programs on IDE. Perfect. People are asking Diwali holidays. People are messaging me personally, sir, how many days holidays we are going to get? No, right, guys, see. No holidays. Please don't give any holiday. No holiday. Good. Online people are better than offline people. हाँ? Daily people asking me, sir, कितना दिन छुट्टी देते हैं? मैं घर के जाने, मैं गांव को जाना है. My parents are calling me. I want to go home to celebrate Diwali. क्या celebrate करते हो भाई? Unemployed है आप. हाँ. After getting the job, you have to celebrate. Right. मम्मी पापा का पैसे waste मत करना. Once you start earning, then you can celebrate the festival, then you can enjoy. Now you are a dependent, you are jobless. You don't have a right to celebrate now because you are not earning anything. Once you start earning, if you are able to earn the money, then you can spend that money for your celebration. Yeah, you have to have that maturity. File, new, Java project. I'm going to create one Java project. Good. File, new Java project. I'm going to give my project name as Oops Examples. Project name as a Oops Examples. Click on next, click on finish. All right. SRC created. What is the meaning of SRC? source, all our Java files we need to create in the SRC. Do I need to compile them? Do I need to compile my program? No. Who will compile? JVM will compile. IDE. IDE will use Java compiler internally, will compile our program, will generate the .class file. Where we can see the .class file? Bin directory. When you create the Java program in the SRC, automatically the program will compile and will create the .class file in the bin directory. Are you clear with this? SRC bin. SRC nothing but source directory. Bin nothing but binaries. Our bytecode will be available in the bin directory. Now right click on SRC, new class. I want to create one class. Package. Currently I am not giving any package. I am directly creating the class. My class name I am giving as user. Okay. User class is created. Inside this I want to write a main method shortcut. Main control space enter. That main method generated. I want to create the object. User u1 is equal to new user. User u1 is equal to new user. I'm writing this. Now I want to print hash code of the user1 object. u1 is a variable which is holding user class object. I want to print hash code of the object. How to print a hash code of the object? System.out.println u1 dot. When I keep dot, what happened? What happened? It is displaying all the methods of that class. But do we have any method in this class? Then why these methods are coming? IDE giving a no. There is a small concept here. We know what is inheritance, right? What is inheritance? Extending the properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. What is the main aim of the inheritance? Code reusability. The main aim of the inheritance is code reusability. Now, for example, when I am inheriting the properties, from one class to another class. For example, I have a parent.java. In the parent.java, there is a m1 method. Now, I have another class called child.java. In the child.java, I have m2 method. Parent class is having m1 method. Child class is having m2 method. Now, child class is extending the properties from parent class. That means there is a inheritance relation. Is available. Child class is extending properties, or I can say inheriting properties from parent. Now, what are the variables available in the parent? What are the methods available in the parent? Child also can access without rewriting. That is called reusability. So when one class is extending the properties from another class, we can access that class properties and that class methods here. Now, child class already having m2 and child class having the m1 also. Sir, how child class is having the m1? M1 is child class parent method. Child class parent is available. Parent class having the m1. That means m1 is available for child also. Are you guys getting my point? Now, in the Java, there is one class called java.lang.object. Object nothing but physical entity. But in the Java, there is a predefined class with a name called object. Okay, now let's go to our API. Let's go to our JSE API. Let us check java.lang package. Go for java.lang. Can you see a class with a name called Boolean? Can you see a class with a name called class itself? A class available with a name called class only. Can you see a class with a name called double? Can you see a class with a name called long? Yes or no? Can you see a class with a name called number? Can you see a class with a name called object? There is a class with a name called object. There is a class with a name called string, string buffer, string builder, system, thread. These all are predefined classes which are available in the lang package. There is a class with a name called object. There is a class with a name called object. Now, can you read this? Can you yeah. Guys, in the Java, there is a predefined class with a name called java.lang.object. In the Java, there is a class with a name called java.lang.object. Now, if you create a class with a name called demo, if you create a class with a name called user, or if you create a class
Yeah.
We are not able to hear you.
Yes, it has been happening like on and off today a lot.
is my voice audible now?
Yeah, now it's audible.
Is it audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Now, guys, in the Java, there is a class with a name called object. Object class available in which package? Java.lang package. For every class, object class is the super class. That means every class can access object class methods because object is by default super class for our classes. You no need to write that inheritance. By default, it is available. Now, u1 dot, I'm getting some method, clone method, equals method, hash code method, clone method, equals method, hash code method, notify, toString, get class, notify all, wait method, like that the methods are coming. That means those methods are object class methods. Those methods are called as object class methods. Now, we are able to open object class from which version it is available? From JDK 1.0. Can you see a method? What is the method available? Hash code. What is the purpose of a hash code? It returns a hash code value for the object. So hash code is available in my class. Hash code is available in object class. Object class. Object class is a predefined class. In which package that class is available? In java.lang package. Okay. Can I access object class methods in my class? How it is possible? Object class is a predefined class. In that class, there are some methods available. Can I call the methods by using my class? Can I call those methods in my class? Yes, because Object is already my superclass. Object is already my parent class. Do I need to establish the inheritance, or already it is established? Already it is established. In Java, every class is going to act as a child class for the object. For every Java class, object class is a parent class. Every Java class can access the methods which are available in the object class. There are 11 methods available in the object class, like get class method available, hash code method available, equals method available, toString method is available, wait method available, notify method available, notify all method available, clone method available. Like that, there are so many methods. I mean 10 or 12, 11 methods are available in the object class. Those methods you can access from any class, because every class is having object as a super class. That means inheritance is by default available. Inheritance is by default available for every class. Every Java class is extending the properties from object class. So object class methods we can call directly. Object class methods we can call directly. Now see here. System.out.println u1.hash code control space. Am I typing that? No. I'm just doing control space and I'm selecting hash code method is coming. What is the purpose of hash code? To return the address of the object. Hash code is different, address is different. Hash code is generated based on the address. Sir, can I get the address of the object? Impossible. JVM is not going to provide you address details. Based on the address, it will generate the hash code. That hash code it is going to print for you. Clear? Now run this program. Can you see the number is printed on the console? Inbuilt console is available. 366712642. One number is printed. That number is called as hash code of the object. Are you clear with my point? Now, can I create one more object for same class? Can I create one more object? User u2 is equal to new user. Then system.out.println u2.hash code, u1.hash code and u2.hash code, u1.hash code, u2.hash code. Two objects created for same class. Hash code will be same, hash code will be different. Hash code will be different. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes. Now print it. First object hash code, second object hash code. Both hash codes are same, both hash codes are different. Both hash codes are different. Can I create one more object? User u3 is equal to new user. User u3 is equal to new user. System.out.println u3.hash code. u3.hash code. Now not append system.out.println. Okay. Now run this program. See, 3 hash codes we are able to get. All 3 hash codes are same. They are different. Object is created for same class. 3 objects created, 3 hash codes generated. So what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion? Every object will have a unique hash code. JVM will assign unique hash code for every object. All right. So let me write what is hash code. What is hash code? What is hash code, guys? Hash code is a unique number. Hash code for when we create, JVM will assign unique hash code for every object. No 2 objects will have same hash code. No 2 objects will have same hash code. We can get the hash code of the object we can get hash code of the object by calling java.lang.object class hash code method. Are you guys getting my point? Right here you can call that hash code u1 dot hash code. Hash code is our method. Hash code is a predefined method. Hash code is a predefined method. In which class hash code method is available? java.lang.object. Note java.lang.object class is by default parent class for all Java classes. So every Java class will act as a child for the object. So our classes can access the methods of the object. Which method we are accessing now? We are accessing hash code. What is the purpose of hash code? The unique address that is assigned by JVM. So whenever you create an object by using new operator, object will be created in the JVM. JVM will allocate the memory for the object. It will allocate the address also for the object. Based on the address, it will generate the hash code. We cannot get the address, but we can get the hash code of the objects. Are you guys clear with my point? Okay, good. I'm creating 3 objects for the class. 3 objects are unique. I'm creating 3 objects for the class. Those 3 objects hash codes are different. Okay guys, good, fine. With this we understood how to create a object and how to get the hash code of the object. Can we check 2 objects hash codes are same or different? They are different. What is the proof? I'm printing that. I created 3 objects. 3 objects hash code I have printed. They are unique. That means every object will have a unique hash code. Perfect. Now, next let's come to variables concept, guys. We already discussed about the variables. Okay. Variables concept is available. What is the purpose of variables? Come on. What is the purpose of the variables? Variables are used to store the data. Yes, to store the data. Variables are used to store the data. In Java, we have 3 types of variables. As of now, we discussed about just variable. For the variable, data type will be available. That data type will have a size. If you don't assign the value, default value will be assigned. But now we are entering into depth of the variables. Okay, fine. What is a variable? Variables are used to store the data. Alright. For storing the data, first we need to declare the variable, then we need to store the data. Integer a is equal to 10. A is a variable which is holding the value 10. The data type is a integer. Perfect. Variables are divided into 3 types, guys. Variables are, sir, when we discussed variables, you did not explain this. But now you are changing the story. You are saying that there are 3 types of variables available. When you born, your mother did not give you chicken biryani, mutton biryani. Yes or no? She gave you milk, dal, rice. Slowly, the dose is increased. Similarly, when we are learning the variables, हम बच्चे हैं. अभी थोड़ा maturity आ गया. Now we are going to understand the internals, the depth of the Java. Are you guys clear? So many times I told, this is not the right time to explain. We will discuss in the OOPS. This is not the right time to explain. We will discuss in the OOPS because at that time our maturity is not sufficient to understand all the concepts in the Java. That's why just I gave the trailer. Now movie started. Understand? Right. Variables are there. Variables are used to store the data. To store the data into a variable, data type is mandatory. Data type is mandatory. There are two types of data types available. Primitive data types available, referenced data types available. Primitive data types already we have seen. Integer, double, float, long, char, boolean, like that. We have seen them. Reference to the data types also we have seen. Arrays and strings. Arrays is a reference to data type. String is also a reference to data type. String is a class now. How it will become a data type? Every Java class you can take as a data type. Now, if you see, I have created user U1. What is this U1? Variable, right? Reference variable. What is the data type of the U1? User. U1 is a variable which is belongs to user data type. User is a primitive data type. User is a reference to data type. User is a reference to data type. User is a class. User is a class. Every Java class we can use as a data type. Every Java class we can use as a data type. Good. Now, variables are used to store the data. Into a is equal to 10. That is a primitive data type. User U1 is equal to new user. U1 is also variable. Student S1 is equal to new student. What is S1? S1 is a variable. What is the data type of the S1? Student. Student is a user-defined data type or predefined data type. User-defined data type. Student is a class. Student is a class. User is a class. Every Java class can be used as a data type also. Every Java class can be used as a data type also. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes. Variables are divided into three types. First one is global variables. Global variables, which are also called as instance variables. Global variables and instance variables. As of now, we have not used that variable. So 1 month completed, but we have not used global variable. Second category is a static variables. Global variables are instance variables. We can also call them as non-static variable. Second category is a static variable. Third category is a local variables. How many types of variables we have, guys? There are three types of variables available. What is the purpose of the variables? Variables are used to store the data. To store the data into a variable, we need to specify data type. That data type can be a primitive data type or it can be a reference to data type. It can be a class also. Every Java class can be used as a data type. So here A, integer type, U1, user type, S1, student type. S1, student type. Variables are divided into three types. What are the three types? Global variable, instance variables and non-static variables. All are same. You can call the global variable as a instance variable or non-static variable. Second category is a static variable. Third category is a local variable. Are you guys clear? Now let's talk about instance variables. Let's talk about instance variables. The variables which are declared inside the class outside the method. Are you guys getting my point? As of now, where I am declaring my variables, where is U1? U1 is available inside the method. In the last 1 month of time, everything we are writing inside the main method. Are you guys getting my point? From the last one method, from last 1 month, we are developing the programs. In that programs, we are using variables. All the variables I'm declaring inside the method. The variable which is declared inside the method is called as a local variable. The scope of this variable only specific to this method is kept. That variable which is created inside the method cannot be accessed outside of the method. Are you guys able to get my point? Now, if you declare a variable inside the class outside a method, that variable is called as a instance variable. What is this variable, guys? Instance variable. Why we are calling that as an instance variable? The variable is declared inside the class and outside the method. That means in this class, anybody can use that variable. That is a public variable. That is a global variable. Tomorrow, I am going to create one M1 method here. Tomorrow I am going to create one M1 method here. I am going to create one M2 method here. Class is nothing but the combination of variables and methods. Methods are used to perform the action. Variables are used to store the data. Now my method want to access the variable. Two methods want to access the same variable. Now, if I declare a variable integer a is equal to 10, where I can use that variable? Only within the M1. Can I access that variable in the M2? No. Why? That is a local. That is a local. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about instance variables. Variables which are declared. Variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method. Variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method are called as instance variables. Instance variables can be accessed by any method available in the class. That is a global. It is a public. It is open for everybody. That is open for everybody. Instance variables can be accessed by all the methods available in the class. For instance variables, initialization is optional. What is the meaning of initialization? Guys, here if you see, A is a one variable, guys. A is what type of variable? A is a instance variable. Now, I declared the variable or I initialized the variable also. I have just declared that variable. Okay. Initialization is optional for the instance variables. Are you guys getting my point? Okay. Initialization. What is the meaning of initialization? Initialization is optional for instance variables. Instance variables are called as object variables. What is that, guys? Instance variable. Instance means object. So here, the variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method are called as instance variables. Instance variables can be accessed by all the methods available in the class. That's why they are called as a global variable. initialization is a mandatory or optional for the instance variables? Initialization is optional for instance variables. Instance variables are called as object variables. Instance variables will be initialized with the default values when the object is created. If you want, you can do like this, guys. I'm entering into the subject now. You have to focus. If you don't concentrate for 1 minute also, you will not connect to the next concept. From now, everything is interlinked. From now, everything is interlinked. Every point that is coming from my mouth is important. And there is a relation between one point to another point. If you lose your concentration for 1 minute, if your brain is diverting, you cannot understand the oops. So I am preparing the basics to use the oops now. Very, very, very important concept. Okay. Now, for this, instance variables, initialization is mandatory or initialization is optional? Optional. If I don't initialize, that variable will be initialized with the default value when the object is created. That variable will be initialized with the default value when the object is created for that class. Alright. Instance variables. The variables which are declared inside the class, outside the method are called as instance variables. Instance variables can be accessed by all the methods available in the class. Initialization is optional for instance variables. Instance variables are called as object variables. When the object, if we don't initialize, when we create the object, memory will be allocated for instance variables. When the memory will be allocated for instance variables, when you create the object for the class, then only memory will be allocated for the instance variables. If we don't initialize the instance variables, then it will be, when you don't initialize the instance variable, it will be initialized. It will be initialized with the default value when the object is created. Are you guys getting my point? Can you read the points once again? Yeah, come on. Variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method are called as instance variables. Instance variables can be accessed by all the methods available in the class. That's why they are called as global variables. That's why they are called as global variables. Global variables. Initialization is mandatory or optional? Initialization is optional for instance variables. Instance variables are called as object variables. That means when the object is created, then only instance variable will be created. If the object is not created, there is no use of instance variable. I have declared an instance variable, but I have not created object for the class. कुछ फायदा है क्या? कुछ नहीं. Because when the object is created, then only memory will be allocated for instance variable. Now, when the object is created, instance variable will be initialized with the default value. If you initialize, then no problem. If you don't initialize, when the object is created, that variable will be initialized with the default value. Are you guys clear with my point? Okay. Now, one tricky question. Integer a is equal to 10. Okay now. System dot out.println of A. What is the output? 11. 10 or error? Error. Why? Oh, variable, instance variable? Instance variable or not? That is a instance variable. Why you are saying that is a instance variable? Inside the class, outside the method. Now, in my main method, I am trying to access the variable A. For A, memory will be allocated or memory will not be allocated? Will not allocate. Why? Object is not created. So, that variable we cannot access because that variable is a instance variable. For that class, object is not created. If the object is created, then only instance variable will present in the JVM. Otherwise, it will not be there. Memory will not be allocated. Without creating the variable in the JVM, how can you access that variable? That means it is a error. It is a error. Are you guys getting my point? Yes. Now, this is the reason from the last 1 month, I am declaring the variables inside the method, not outside the method. If I declare outside the method, program fat jayega. Why? We are not creating the object. If you don't create the object, memory will not be allocated. If the memory is not allocated, that object, that variable will not be available. We cannot access. The instance variables cannot be accessed directly in the main method. Why? Because main method is a static method. Main method is a static method. For static, दूसरा story है. We will discuss about that. Okay. Currently, we are talking about the instance. Right. Right. So if we don't initialize instance variable, it will be initialized with the default value when the object is created. Every object will maintain its own copy of the instance variable. A tricky point, very important point. Next point is very important. Every object will maintain its own copy of the instance variable. Are you guys getting my point? For one class, I can create 2 objects, right? For one class, I can create 2 objects, right? That means memory will be allocated 2 times for the variable. Getting my point? Every object will maintain its own copy of the instance variable. Why? Because now I have a user class. Ramu is one user, Rani is one user, Ramesh is one user, Suresh is one user. Every user age will be same, every user age will be different, every user age will be different. Now see here, I'm taking a variable integer age. Now I'm creating user Raju is equal to new user. Now I will store Raju dot age is equal to 20. Raju dot age is equal to 20. Now I will go for user Rani is equal to new user Rani dot age is equal to 25. That means one variable, 2 objects, right? Those 2 objects are accessing the same variable, but every object will maintain its own copy of the instance variable. For Raju user, age is available. For Rani user also, age is available. That means instance variables are specific to object. Instance variables are specific to object. Now, here, if I don't do this, simply I'm doing like this. When I do like this, what will happen? Simple. एक minute. I have a class, guys. My class is user. In the user class, I am having age variable. ठीक है? हाँ. I am having age variable. For example, this line is not available. ठीक है? Then can you see what is the code available in my program? My program is having one variable, one method. That variable is a what type of variable it is? Instance variable. Did I initialize that variable? No. Did I initialize the variable? I am not doing. I am not doing. I have just declared the variable. Inside the main method, I am creating the object. What is the meaning of creating the object? Creating the object is nothing but allocating the memory. Now, in the JVM, heap area